Hi, Ryan. So excited to have you here. Just wanted to chat with you about your experience in the immersion you just completed. So, why don't you just go ahead and tell us or me about yourself and why you signed up? And yeah, take it.
Okay, great. So I'm Ryan Schramm, or do you want first name, second? Does it
Whatever you-
matter? All right. Well, I'm Ryan Schramm, and,
And she's sweating.
and I'm completely sweating. No.
Love you.
um, I'm Ryan Schramm, and I had been working with Kat for a little bit on specifically just with her. What was that? I guess it was the.
You
I was
started,
specifically work. What?
you started with fitness.
Goodness. Thank you. I'm Ryan Schramm. I started working with Kat solely for.
It's like
I feel like I'm on the other side. This is what I normally do. I normally
it's
interview
so
people. So
funny
it's
because there's gonna be like so many bloopers.
well, and this is like I can't. And the funny thing was, it was like I think Kat's recording me today. Like I think it's.
You are recorded right now.
I know. Okay, let me start over. This is
This is
exactly what.
so
Okay.
amazing.
Um, okay.
This just changed my whole day. I'm so we just laughed the whole fucking time. Really.
Okay.
Okay,
I know. I'm Ryan Schramm, and I started with Kat specifically for fitness. I just wanted I wanted to get back to the body that I was comfortable in and I was going to be proud and happy with. And it just so happened that she started the immersion program close to the end of what I thought was going to be the fitness journey with Kat. But as soon as she mentioned that she was doing the immersion program, I was like signed on immediately. I think I had started, I got really excited when I started noticing a huge shift in my mental focus when it came to journaling. I refused to journal. I didn't think it was going to do anything for me. And I was like, like, why am I going to write my thoughts? Like, I have nothing to say. Little did I know that now I journal every single day and sometimes at night as well. And it could be as small as like a quarter of a page to like 3 full pages, depending on the day. But it was an amazing outlet. And as soon as I noticed, as soon as I started using the tools that Kat was giving us on a daily basis, I was like, I'm signed up for the immersion 100%. I specifically signed up for the immersion because I was struggling in the sense that I was caught in this circle, I guess going around in a circle about my career.
Mhm.
It was just a constant battle between I'm not good enough. My title is something that I was stuck on. I've been an executive assistant for the past 7 years, and I thought that that defined me. I was using my job title to define myself when at the end of the day, like I work extremely hard as an assistant. And I was just looking for a little bit of clarity on what the next step is of whether do I want a career change? Do I want to ask for a title bump? Do I want to stay within my career in general? And the immersion program allowed me to take that step forward and to answer some questions, to be comfortable with my job title currently, and be extremely happy with me in the present moment, where I am in my career in the present moment, and to let me set up and plan for the future, about whether it was changing my career or changing a path, or and it opened so many doors and I got a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
Sorry if that was a lot. Is that a lot?
No, it's great. So
Okay.
one of my favorite part about your transformation is yes, when we started in the fitness, your body came, it was great, but like your mindset and like how much your anxiety and stress and fear just like completely reduced. And it's interesting because it was going through like the whole entire fitness experience, but then like every single day you just started to seem more calm, more excited, and then you got to this point where like, well, wow, I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel good. I want to feel better. I want to feel better. And you signed up for the immersion because you're like, well, now I have this awesome body and like I want to take everything else to the next level. And that's when you started to see such like amazing change because you went through some of those limiting beliefs that were holding you back. All of our limiting beliefs are around fears. I'm not good enough. They won't pick me. This person thinks this and this and this of me. And like this second we like went through that and like unblocked you, like you're so confident in being you. And like if you want to elaborate on that, because I feel like that's been such an amazing experience to watch you, and other women can, look at you and be like, oh wow, she went from this to this to this, and she's continuously having, more change in her life, but she can handle it. Like you can handle shit now.
It's so true. I actually had a conversation uh, with my uncle yesterday, last night, and about this. And I started to realize how comfortable I've gotten in my own, how, okay, wait. I've realized how comfortable I've gotten to be in my own skin and like who I am, to the point where I don't care how other people see me. Like I find that I was in this, you know, people pleasing. I cared about, what anyone thought of me, is, whether it was my friends, or friends, family, what I was doing in my daily life, that I was able to, through the immersion program and just working with Kat in general, is I calmed down. I was able to kind of take a step back, not react to everything that was going around me. Every little change, I started to not freak out and panic in the moment. I was able to stop sign, which is one of the tools that Kat gives us. And it's honestly a miracle. Like it's not even pausing. It's literally, you have to stop. I have to calm myself down and I have to say, don't react. And then I'm able to make a decision with a clear mindset. I'm able to, make the correct decisions, whereas I would normally make a decision in pure panic mode. And that's the last thing that you want to be doing, because you're not in the right mindset. You're not in the present moment. And, you're freaking about the future, or like what happened 20 minutes ago. And it was just like, doesn't matter anymore.
And sorry, hold on. Yeah, and I feel like with you too, like that stop sign, you could ask yourself, what does Ryann want? What
I
does
know.
Ryann want in her life? And like before, it was like, oh my God, like I'm so overwhelmed. I got these people talking to me, these people talking to me, my work's this. I don't know and we have to slow down. And like you, out of almost all of the girls that I've ever worked with, the difference of just like your presence of like from a lot of stress, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, just a lot of like
No.
overwhelm. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
a good word. And like now you're like light and breezy. You're like, okay, this is happening, I can handle it, it's not that big of a deal. And like I have the tools, I can pick them up and use them, I can pause, I can slow down. And like you stopped reacting to like all areas of your life, friends, family, work, everything. And like you're in such a different place of peace that now new things are coming in, right? So we're in that state of like panic, like
I
we
know.
don't know what's going on, we're so disassociated. And like now you're like, okay, I'm going to stay in this job, I'm open to new, I'm this and this, I'm calling in new friends, I'm sharing. Like the fact too, from when you first signed up to my program, of like getting on calls, and sharing, you're one of those women who just like isolates and like, is afraid to speak. And like now you're my one of my lead girls who are like coming in there like, this is what's happening. And it's so awesome to watch. It's
I
so
know. I think that was honestly one of the most exciting changes that I saw in myself, is that every time I self-isolated for years. Like it was, I mean, that's also just, it's learned, right? It's just something that I continued and continue to do. I, you know, I would isolate myself from friends, family, like to the point where I like wouldn't contact anyone for days. I'd just be like, leave me alone. But to have this outlet and this community of women, it was truly like eye-opening. It was amazing. And like when you're in this group and you're realizing like you're not alone in the crazy thoughts that you were thinking, it's like, oh, okay, everything's gonna be fine. Like I used to be in such panic, like freaking out. I even remember like I was shaking in my boots when I first got on these community calls. I did not want to share at all. I was so closed off. I was like, these people are going to just go behind my back and they're going to talk about me and they're going to think this and that about me and like where I've been and my path. They're going to judge me for every single movement that I do. And that's like, oh my gosh, couldn't be farther from the truth. It was, no, that was awesome. Like it is, it's crazy how far I've come with
it's like
that.
realize that like you don't have to do things alone and that
Yeah.
your feelings are not unique, which just creates this like this chance to be like, okay, like this is what's going on, share with another girl, and the other girl's like, me too, and you guys can like work on it together, which creates more self-esteem and outside. So if like you're a woman who like goes into work and you don't speak your truth and you're like, oh my God, and I'm just gonna be quiet, I'm gonna be quiet, I'm gonna be quiet. It's like going into an immersion like this, you learn how to speak, you learn how to communicate. So like you can take it to other areas of your life, relationships, family,
Yeah.
understanding like, why, how we can properly communicate to our loved ones without hurting them or hurting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just astonishing. I wish
Yeah.
that you could see yourself how I see you. It's actually mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And it's been such a gift, and you are such a gift. Now, you're in the community, like sharing, and people are learning from you, from your experience. It's so cool.
I know it is. But the cool thing too is that as you continue even to have the conversations with these women and you get on community calls and new women come in, it's just like you continuously like learn so much about yourself, like by other women coming in. You're like, oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I do that too.
Which leads me, did you feel supported and connected from me? Did you feel supported and connected to the other women?
I 100% felt supported by Kat. I think most, uh, one of the beautiful things with Kat is that if she hasn't heard from you in a while, she'll make sure that you're okay and she'll reach out. And it may just be because, you haven't been able to talk because you're busy with work, but she's always on it and she's asking if you're okay and she's checking on you. And honestly, for a lot of people, including myself, it's important having that person to, be like, hey, how's it going? You don't have a lot of people like that. A lot of people are just kind of like so focused and in their own lane and doing what they're doing. So when you have someone to reach out and be like, what's been going on? What's new with you? It's such a gift. It's awesome. And then in turn, you kind of learn to do it and you start reaching out to your friends and your family that you haven't been in contact with a while. So it's definitely contagious and it just rolls right on through. And yes, I mean, the women in this community, I just made friends from all over the world within this community and through this immersion. And I can say that like they're friendships that are going to continue on for a really long time. And it's something so beautiful to connect on a level with this community, and the community of women is just, it's beyond something like, I don't know, like I don't have words, literally. It is hard for me to get out the words because I can't express how grateful I am to the women, and honestly, to the women who take time to listen to, what's going on in your life, whether it's good or bad. Because sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, like hearing what someone else is going through, even though we can relate. But sometimes it's just like, I guess you feel like you're putting so much pressure on someone else when you're sitting there and you're having a bad day and you're putting it on someone. But these women are so open and willing to hear you out and hear what's going on in your life. And that's awesome.
And it's your new safe space. It's like a
It
safe
is.
space for like you to share, and like that like it's cool too because they're not like in your circle too. So it's like no matter what, like it's a safe space. But
Mhm.
it just reminds you that you're not alone. And like it's so cool because you guys all connected on, personal problems, right? Like personal things. So like your relationship just keeps growing that way. And I don't know, but you're awesome. And so many women look up to you now. You've literally like transformed,
I
shaped
mean,
it. It's insane. It's been so cool to have you because just as much as you've learned from me, I've learned from you. And that's just how it works. Like no one's better than one another. It's just we connect, we help each other, we support each other, we don't compete with each other. And I don't
mhm.
know, it's been such a pleasure to have you in the immersion, and you did the work. Like you were so willing, and so many women, I'm like, if you want to feel better, you got to be willing and you got to do the work, or like it's not going to work. It's not going to
I
work.
know. I know. Well, and the funny thing is like, I guess in a sense, like that, like I have a fear of letting someone down. And that at that point, signing up for the immersion, I was going to let myself down if I didn't put in that work. If I didn't do the homework, I knew that it was going to affect me. It wasn't affecting anyone else. It's only going to affect me in my life. So yeah, I was ready. Oh, I was so ready for a change. And
Like
it came at,
you had like your journal and your pen, and you're like, I'm like so similar in that too. I'm like, I sign up for something, I'm giving it 100%, which leads to,
well, yeah.
do you recommend this to someone else? And if so, like explain who this girl is.
Okay. I mean, yes, I would recommend this immersion 1,000%. I didn't want you to think that I was like,
No, I love you.
I'm just like, I'm thinking about like how to word this, because
There was so many different women.
there were, and the thing is that I think one of the biggest, or the woman that I would recommend this to is someone who um is caught in this lack of self-esteem, because I think that with many women, we have an issue specifically. I know that I had this issue, is that, I had a low self-esteem. I wasn't confident, even though I knew deep down that I could get to where I wanted to be, whether it was in, through a relationship or career. I find that I had that lack of confidence and self-confidence, and self-esteem to allow myself to get there. I was so blocked within my limiting beliefs. Like I didn't think that I deserved it. I think that that's a big thing, is that, you know, you as just a human being, we put so much pressure on ourselves. And at the end of the day, we are just human beings. It's just as simple as that. We are going to make mistakes, but I think that their confidence, someone who wants to join a community of like-minded women, is something that's I think, going to help you at the end of the day, because I know it helped me and I never would have joined something like this before. Like, I was laughing because one of the um, one of the girls mentioned today, she's like, I don't do this. I would stay in my own lane. I would never, I'm not getting on a community call. And I had the exact same mindset. I was like, I'm not getting on this community call. I'm not sharing. They don't, yeah. And I'm like, they don't know. The one thing is also too, it's okay to share, because I had the biggest fear that I just like, I didn't want to open up. I didn't. It was just like I had a huge fear that not only was I going to be judged for my past, or for my belief system, but there's no judgment. And I think like that was a fear in itself. That was a hurdle in itself that I had to, get through, is just fear of,
Well, completely,
judgment and trusting.
completely different person. You're not a different person. You are just now Ryann.
Yeah.
Like the Ryann.
I do. I feel more me.
And you're such a pleasure. Like, you're such a light. It's been so awesome just to watch you change and grow. And like, the funny thing is, like, nothing really on the outside changed. Isn't that cool if you think about it?
I know. And what's funny is that I had a routine change during this. So I went from focusing so much on fitness that with the routine change, I started freaking out, but I'm really comfortable with where my body is right now. And it's not the best it's been in. It's not the best shape for myself and my, I don't think it's where, I wanted it to be at this moment, but I'm totally okay with that, because I know that I can get there and I know that it's going to happen for me. And I just needed to battle through some mental fitness. At the end of the day, it was a mental fitness program, this immersion.
Well, I'm so happy you joined. Thank you. I'm going to stop recording. Do you have anything else you want to add, or are we good?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to stop recording, then we'll chat again.